Hello, 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 and welcome. Can women truly thrive financially while trapped in toxic relationships? In this eye opening episode, we explore the profound impact unhealthy relationships have on wealth, on success, and overall well being. Welcome, everyone, to episode 11 of Beautiful Living with Keisa. I'm your host, Keisa, the beauty coach. I empower women to live beautifully in life, business, and style. And I'm so glad you're here with us tonight because we'll be diving into a really important conversation that goes beyond dollars and cents and impacts more women than we might think. We often talk about finances, which is pillar number 5 of beautiful living, in terms of budgets, savings, and investing. But what about the unseen forces that can affect our wealth? As my guest, Dr. Felisha, so powerfully says, true wealth cannot thrive in the presence of unhealthy relationships. Wealth transcends financial gain. Without emotional harmony, one can be rich in currency, but bankrupt in spirit. And that's exactly what we'll be exploring tonight. So it's so easy to focus solely on financial success, but if our emotional health is out of balance, that wealth doesn't mean much. We'll talk about how toxic relationships can hold women back financially while quietly sabotaging not just your happiness, but also your ability to build and maintain real wealth financially and emotionally, and steps to reclaim your power. So before we get started, I want to introduce our amazing guest for the evening. Someone who's not only an expert in personal development, elite relationship coaching, and luxury lifestyle cultivation, but passionate about manifesting abundance. She is an intuitive luxury matchmaker and elite date coach. She serves high net worth and ultra high net worth clients globally and is the CEO and founder of Luxury Love Academy and Luxuriously Match, a concierge introductions firm. She is also partnered with the largest luxury matchmaking service in the industry and works behind the scenes as an expert to cast dating reality shows for mainstream television networks. She's also the author of The Luxury Life Unveiled, Unlocking the Secret to Attract the Life of Your Dreams with No Apologies. I have the book here. Guys, okay? And has went on to build an 8-figure business rooted in luxury, love, and lifestyle elevation in under 24 months. Hunty, yes, yes, and yes, okay? So let's welcome none other than my dear friend, my big sister, the incredible Luxury Love Diva, Dr. Felisha Kay. Hey, and welcome.
Hey, Keisa. Hey, Keisa. So nice to see you. Thank you for having me. I am excited to be here and have this very important conversation.
Yes, yes, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. I know our viewers are eager to hear this conversation on this topic. So, is there anything I just gave a whole meat, honey, because you got it going on? Elite date coach, intuitive luxury matchmaker, and all the beautiful things, honey, manifesting abundance. So, what else? I mean, it's probably something I left out. So, what else you got cooking up? That you may want to add to tell the people a little bit more about you.
Well, what I'll say is this: I believe myself to be a manifesting woman and an abundance attractor, and so I've had this innate ability to see things and attract the things that I desire and I believe that I deserve, even since a little girl. And so I know this work very well, and it's become a passion to help women elevate and attract the things that they desire and deserve: life, love, wealth, and in their everyday life.
All right, honey. Yes, I believe in manifesting too and abundance. So we right here, manifestation, honey. We want to dig a little deeper in that because yeah, we'll get to that part. It's gonna be a part that won't bring this piece back up. But welcome, Glam and Denise and Lifestyle by Lonnie. Hey, girls. Hey, 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 and gents. Welcome everybody who are joining in from Facebook and YouTube. And so we're about to just let's jump in because there's so much to unpack with this subject, right? And we hear a lot about emotional and mental health, right? And how it has an impact on relationships. But financial health is rarely a conversation. We're always talking about the pieces from a emotional or, and it all to me is all a chain link. It all goes together, right? So I quoted you in the very beginning and I said that, and that quote really hit home. So I want to bring that quote back up. So I want to start with this foundation and understanding the impact, right? So you said that wealth transcends financial gain, right? There was something I pulled. So I did a little, I was doing a little digging. So I pulled that, right? And so can you expand on what you mean by that and why emotional harmony is so essential for true wealth to flourish?
One of the things I like to say is I liken wealth to a garden, particularly in relationships and unhealthy relationships versus healthy relationships. So if you think about your wealth as a garden, it's just like one of those things where you're planting the seeds to plant your talents, your hopes, your dreams, and your ambitions. And so your partner should be that nourishment for you, the soil, the sun, the water. And so if you're in an unhealthy relationship, then all of the things that you've planted really can't grow because your partner is not that nourishing soil. So it's sort of like planting those seeds in dry dirt.
And that means gonna die.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
It can never thrive. It can never grow. It can never grow. But here's the most important thing. So the key is to start enriching the soil yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
To, as individuals, whether it's a man or a woman, because I believe we can never be wealthy in unhealthy relationships. It doesn't matter how much money we have in the bank, but we can certainly be emotionally bankrupt. Mm-hmm. And so I think that the most important thing is to start planting those seeds from within and then also becoming that soil and nurture ourselves, because it's about how we show up. Because when we start looking at external factors to help us decide how we're going to grow and valuing other opinions, that's where we go wrong. And that is where we tend to not flourish and relatively stagnant.
So I'm glad you brought that up. So I'm gonna skip around a little bit because I was going to bring this up in a little bit because something else that you said was that abundance attracts. You said the abundance you attract will always mirror the love and elevation you invest in yourself. And so when I think about that and when I saw that, in pillar number 4 of beautiful living is relationships, and I talk a great deal about relationships in general, but it's the self relationship that you have to nourish, right? And so you mentioning, even when you are when you plan like yourself as a seed, how are you nurturing yourself? Because you are, I put in my book that you often attract who you are in that time of life, right? And so if you know that there's some work that needs to be done, work on you instead of busy trying to get into a relationship with someone else, thinking that they're going to complete you or make you better when you know there are some things that you need to work on, right? Because you attract who you are, like you said, the mirror.
Absolutely.
So I was thinking about when you just said that, I was like, oh yeah, I got to go straight to that quote because it's about nourishing also the self relationship first before you even try to go to even get yourself right, because that quote, you are attracting the mirror, a reflection of who you are in that moment. And so with that being said, because you mentioned that toxic relationships don't affect our emotional well-being, but also our financial health, what are some of the subtle ways unhealthy relationships can drain a woman's finances then? Because if we are because if we in these relationships, I got it. When I saw that, I was like, well, I have a response because I kind of can speak to that a little bit. You know how you look back over history, over your life, what was, right?
Absolutely.
So what you think in
Absolutely.
here?
Well, I think that a lot of times, so this doesn't just have to be romantic relationships. This can be for friends and family too.
Right.
If you think about a shade tree, shade blocks out the sun. And a lot of times
Mhm.
we find that in friends and families. And so what they do is just sort of suppress our greatness, and it's subtle sometimes. It's like, how's your little business going? Or I don't know why she or he's investing all that time and energy into what they're doing. I've never seen anything work in the past. Whatever that is, this is why it's so important to kind of cultivate that self-love from within, like a
Mhm.
because our mentality is also our wealth. It's like it's the vault from within. We need to be ironclad. We can't let people come in and deplete the wealth that we are building from within. And so it's very important to have even the emotional intelligence. It's about how we respond to it. And so we need to understand who's in our circle and who is contributing to the completion of us rather than the depletion of us, right?
Yes.
Because there are some people who are draining. They could be spouses, they could be, children, family, whatever that is. But again, it's about us being ironclad and staying on point and focused. And we don't have time. You also want to think about this. Okay, I can get into it.
Yeah, just get into it.
Yeah,
Let's get into it.
listen, here's the thing. If you keep doing the same thing you've always done, you are going to get the exact same result. And what I mean by that, everyone knows what I mean by that. But how
Mhm.
many years do you spend investing in yourself and doing something only to just give up because somebody said something? And then 20 years have gone by. So we don't have time. We don't have time to waste anymore.
Yes, Candace
Why?
said
Because
that part.
the time is now. The time is right now
Yes.
to value yourself. And this is one of my signature quotes: value yourself at the highest level in life and in love. And I teach people how to be the diamond in the room.
Mm-hmm.
You
Beautiful.
glow from within. You attract,
Absolutely.
we, we attract how we act, right? And
That was a
so,
mouthful right there, Dr. Felicia. Say
listen,
it again.
because here's the thing: we attract how we act.
Somebody put
You
that in the chat. We attract how
know?
we act. Put that in the chat. We attract
Because
how we act.
absolutely. People can sense before you've said a word, you walk into a room. If you are confident, if you have an essence about you, a presence about you, people who want to know who you are will make their way to you. And
Mhm.
those who are not meant for you will stay away. So we attract who we desire and we repel who is not for us. And that's energetically. I don't have to say a word, walk into a room. And I tell you what, my energy says it all. Do not come over here and bother me.
Mhm.
Or if you have something to say, I'm all ears. But it's just one of those things. It's one of those innate. It's something that you cultivate from within when you have said, I've built my confidence up so high that I am no longer going to be distracted by anyone. And
Yes.
that's the most important thing, is to stay focused on your self-worth, your self-value, and where you're going.
Whew. That was good, honey. You just dropped some gems right there, honey. You just dropped all those gems. And again, I guess only thing I can think of is nourishing the self relationship, because it's there from within, right? And you that is just so important. And you talk about that shade tree, and like you said, relationships. Period. It doesn't have to be a romantic. It can be a friend. It could be a family member. It can be anybody. And people be throwing shade. You already know, but you be like, honey, no weapon formed, and you keep it moving. And so, and so, I mean, first of all, I'm still taking it in. Hold on, I'm taking in those little nuggets that you just said. Candace in here talking about absolutely yes, and I'm getting some things over here on Instagram, some little drops right here. So yes, so we attract how we act, and when I think about that piece of it, um, again, it's take me back to the self relationship, just getting yourself together, nourishing yourself, starting with you, starting with self, and you know, making sure that you're presenting yourself in the best light to the world. But you can't if you ain't worked on yourself, because we see past the outer shell, right? We get to see the internal closet really and truly shine on the outer, right? That part. And so but when we talk about so when I go back to this, the finances piece, or well, let me even, we already talked a little bit about that. I want to say, so how does being in a toxic or controlling relationship affect a woman's mindset towards managing her money and making long-term financial decisions potentially?
Well, when you're in a relationship with a partner or someone who is distracting you, you can't think straight.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You don't make the best decisions.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times you ask for permission that you don't need. You
Say
don't
that part again. Now say that
trust,
part.
you ask for permission that you don't need. You don't trust your own voice because they have you thinking that at any given moment you're making the wrong decision. You should talk to me about that first.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or
Ooh.
the communication is shows up as gaslighting.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, you said what you said. They tell you you said something else, and then you start to question yourself. You start to say, well,
Mm-hmm.
did I really? Well, wait a minute, right? So you don't trust your own voice.
Yeah. So to your point, real, you said you start asking. So for me, I remember, and I have to be very I'm trying to be careful because you know a lot of my friends are married and things, and well, all of them except maybe a hand, like two or three that I talk to on a regular basis, right? Everybody else is married, and I remember like even I remember even using this analogy, like we had taken my baby girl out for her birthday one time, and within the last year or two, whatever, and she wanted her nose pierced, and we already had talked about getting a nose pierced. And so, but I said, have you mentioned it to your dad? And so he was with us, you know, we were celebrating her. And for those who don't know, you know, I am divorced and things. And so he went on to say, you know, she went on to bring it up at the table. Like, you know, Dad, I want to get you know, my nose pierced and all that. And he said, well, you know, he's about to go down this whole little thing. And so I interjected in a moment and I said, she's not asking for permission. She's asking for support. Because what I wanted her to understand is, or him, and when I said that to him, the whole conversation changed. And he was like, okay, well, where are you thinking about getting it done at? Where are you thinking about, you know, in these things? And I use that because a lot of times we as women, when we are in relationships, and I'm not saying that you don't need to go and have conversations, you know, with your spouse about whatever. For me, when I am in a process of wanting to invest in myself, I would have already vetted, I would already done these things. So I'm coming to you in the light of this is what I want to do, and I just need your support, right? That's it. And but a lot of times I've heard people say, well, I couldn't do it because he didn't want me to do it, or I can't do this, and it's finances or it's these things. And in the inside, I'm like, it's partnership. You know what I'm saying? And I remember even even aside of that conversation right there, being in, you know, a relationship where when I'm working on my purpose and when things are not going well and things are just, you know, that relationship, because what throws me off as a distractions is usually relationships, whether it's a female relationship or a romantic relationship, is relationships. But I know what it is now, so I can call it out and keep moving, right? But back in the day, I would put my purpose to the side because I'm like, oh, I just got to make sure we're good. I just got to make sure. Now all this time went by. My purpose to the side. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not focused. That means my money. I'm not growing. I'm not making the money because I'm over here trying to make sure. Are we good now? Are we da 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 and all these things? That's not okay. I've stopped. So I'm just gonna take a break. I had to get that out because you know I know there are other people back then, but I recognize it now. Like you ain't taking me off my path of what I'm doing now. You know what I'm saying? So you step into me with some foolishness while I'm on this path that God has put me on. You will have to be set to the side for a second, okay? And I'm gonna have to come back to you in a moment when it's convenient, like because you ain't interjecting. You know what I'm saying? But back in the day, I would put it to the side. That means I'm not making my money. That's all of that is going to the side because a lot of relationships are just that, and it falls by the wayside.
Most definitely. Yeah, most definitely. I would say, when you really think about wealth, wealth is like, again, I'll reference a vault, like it's your self-worth, it's your
Mm-hmm.
confidence, peace. And so if you allow negative people in, it's kind of like leaving the vault open so thieves can take from you. And
Right.
that also means mentally.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that when we just start developing that level of confidence, whether we're in romantic partnerships or not, you elevate the people around you. So I know so many women that are married. I'm gonna be very careful here. You
Right.
know,
I was trying to. I was trying to.
because I'm not trying to, and I'm not saying people need to leave and go ahead and get divorces and all this and that. But I know some of the most successful women that I've seen actually grew after they pruned the tree.
I know exactly what you're saying. Pruning the tree. I got you.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because what they did once they pruned the tree, they started to grow themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that you can exist in a relationship, that you can turn an unhealthy relationship around if your partner is willing. And
Right.
your partner sees that you are confident, you're self assured, and you are very focused and driven, and you're asking for support, not permission. If they turn it around and they elevate with you, they see it as, you're a powerful woman. I want to be I'm a powerful man, and together you are two powerful people who create a power couple.
Mm-hmm.
That is where growth happens in relationships. But a lot of times it's the men who, in their mind, they should be the most powerful financially. And so they get intimidated by when the woman, their wife or partner, is starting to make money and surpass them. They don't then see it as a partnership anymore. They start feeling deflated. But if they actually can become more supportive, I think it's a relationship that can thrive. But if he is consistently, or she, I mean, men go through it too, because
Right.
I think that, as for example, I'll just give you an example. My husband, he was in a relationship similar,
Mm-hmm.
where on the other side his income was totally fine, very, very, very stable and all of these things, and you know but was with a partner who, like, well, you really need to make that much money, what do you well, that's because she didn't contribute to the relationship in any way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
We got together when we married. My husband's income increased 4 times, and so did mine. Why?
Boom.
Because I
Yes.
poured into him, I nurtured him, I encouraged him. We plan together, we grow together, we
Mm-hmm.
go together, we date, we
Yeah.
talk to each other, we communicate. And so that is very important. That's what creates power couples.
Yes.
So,
I mean, I love y'all union over
oh
there.
yeah,
Y'all
you
so
know my
cute. Like,
husband.
yes. I love the whole family
You
over there. It's
know,
like y'all so cute. Right.
he is ride or die, like, go, I'm
Right.
gonna work for you. He's gonna retire in a couple of years. He's gonna sell his firm, but nonetheless, I just think when we work on purpose and in our purpose,
Mm-hmm.
we're working in peace,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where abundance lives.
Yes.
You can have an abundance of peace, prosperity, and wealth, but it's really truly important to have supportive relationships too.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yes. And
So
I think, if you're gonna have, and like you said, it goes beyond, I'm single. So, having supportive friends, supportive, all those things. So it goes beyond just, a spouse, or a partner or what have you. Making sure that the people that are in your circle, because wealth is not just about the green, the money, right? The dollars and the cents. Wealth is like the peace. Wealth is, good relationships. Like wealth it's a whole nother list outside of the money aspect of it. And people can drain your peace that you want. I feel like I have a wealth of peace because I ain't having to wake up to things. It's peaceful, right? And even there was a moment where I thought some things may be changing, and it still might, but I'm okay because I was able to articulate my feelings behind it. If my daughter may come home or something like that, I was a little nervous about it at first because I'm like, wait a minute, it's peaceful here. You know what I'm saying? And and not that she was going to come and disrupt my space, but I didn't want even for the opportunity for that to happen, right? Because I have set up my life in a way that I'm like, it is peaceful, even in dating and all of that. If you come in, I feel like you're about to disrupt it. That's a whole nother conversation. You know what I'm saying? And so it's those things. So it's wealth goes beyond, because if you don't have all of those things in place, your self-worth, supportive relationship, all that plays a part in even the dollars and the cents coming into place. So it's not just you getting out here grinding and doing the thing. It's still about all the external factors, and you wondering, like I'm thinking about family members who cannot have been in the same space because of their household, and they can't move and shaking, and as much as they want to, it's something always pulling them back, and it's not peaceful. And so that person or those people cannot get out and flourish and operate in their purpose so that they can live in abundance because of their environment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so it goes beyond just having a husband or a wife. It's everybody in your totality in your environment. And so I often say that it's often you need to evaluate your circles and the things and places around you very often, because as you grow, you need to know what to prune every step which you're going, or what boundaries you need to put in place.
Absolutely. It's very important to take inventory of your circle and consistently do audits.
Mm-hmm.
See who's around you, right? And see who's actually contributing to your growth and who isn't. And it doesn't, we can't divorce family necessarily.
No, you can put some boundaries in place, though.
You can certainly put boundaries in place, but you can also understand how you deal with those people. You maybe not dealing with them during the week when you need to, have your mind right and focus and work. You might see them on the weekends at family gatherings and have conversations. You don't go deep with people like that.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily be family. I'm just using family as an example, but you don't go deep with people who tend to have something negative to say, or who are like the shady tree.
The shady tree.
So one thing, I work with people who are, a lot of times people come to me and say, oh, can you match me? Can you find me somebody or whatever? And I think, okay, it's interesting that a lot of women lead with that, men too. And it's like they have this checklist and they say, oh, I want this, 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 this. It's like, okay, you are coming to me looking for your 10, but you're showing up as a 2.
That's that self-work I'm to talk about. And then you want somebody else that's already here. You ain't even did the work yourself.
You haven't
you haven't even did it.
Right. You're leading with the wrong things. You're leading with, I want them to have this, have that. But what about the nurturing quality? What about what are you contributing? Are you a nurturer? Are you a supporter? How are you someone that's going to contribute to the vault?
Right. Right. Denise says, ouch, and take inventory. Yes, Denise.
I said what I said. Hey, Denise. But it's absolutely true. And so this is where for example, on the matchmaking side, no one person can just come to me and say, hey, help me find someone, without me doing a deep dive and understanding where you're at and how you're going to show up in the relationship. Because that's going to be one of the big questions, because I work with high net worth and ultra high net worth individuals. These are business executives. These are people who you're not on the dating apps, and so they come
Right.
to like me as a concierge. They want the utmost. They want the people who have their mind right, their
Mm-hmm.
heart right. They're going to be contributors, and so I need to make sure I'm putting forth people who actually can help the relationship grow and not be a be the fertilizer to
That
someone
part.
else's
Right.
garden,
Right.
not the
Right.
weed.
Not the weed. All right. The
Not the
fertilizer,
weed.
not the weed. That's
Not,
killing off everything. Right. Yes.
not the weed.
So you mentioned something I want to hit on, this checklist, because I was like, oh, she done brought up that checklist, honey. You done brought up the checklist. I just got to sit here for 1 second. So, you brought up this checklist, and I chuckled in the inside because, again, I am a single woman, right? And I remember my friends, I have a few friends that was like, you need to write it down. And I was like, no, I don't. I'm gonna know it when I see it. I'm gonna feel it when, this. So I don't. So this checklist, do you recommend at least having something on down of some sort or not? Because I've been going back and forth with this checklist.
Let me tell you something right now. The most primary things on your checklist, if there is a list, and I do think you should write some things down. Stop. I'm not talking to you specifically, but
Yeah.
people stop thinking about what they want and really talk about what they need. So on your
Yeah, I
check,
heard that.
I
Yes.
need someone to nurture me. I need someone to show up for me. I need someone to be the 100% when I can't give 100%, when I can only give 50 on any given day.
Mm.
I need someone to love me, communicate with me. I need someone to lead me. I said it,
Ooh.
lead me. Make
Yes,
a
lead
decision.
me.
Don't make me have to overthink in the relationship. I want to be a woman. I want to be feminine. I
That
might be
part.
strong. I might make money. But I don't want to make decisions all the time. Tell me where
Yeah.
we're going to eat.
Yes.
Tell me you booked the hotel.
Yes.
Tell me that I don't have to cook. You might not cook either, but you're gonna have dinner ordered in. So
Yes.
here's what you need to do. You need to write down you want to write down what you need first. What you need
Mm-hmm.
from your partner. Lead with that and you'll attract the right person. Now, if you need somebody, now here's another thing. A need can be wealth or financially fit. I need this person to be able to contribute to my life, his too.
Mm-hmm.
No, because a lot of times people talk about I want a man that's 5'6". Oh no,
I
not
was about to say, I was waiting for you to stop.
5'. Oh my God! I can't. Those are my non-negotiable. I can't do short. I'm sorry. I'm only 5'2", so I can't do. You know what? Let me tell you something. But they lead with the exterior. They lead with
Right.
this. Okay, you have a person. Some women will say, "I want them to be 6 feet tall, dark, handsome, fit, all these things, fit."
Fit. Look, wait a minute. Denise said, baby, let me get this list together. Need versus
Me.
want. That's why I had to bring it up because I know so many people, women especially, have this list. And I hadn't, I think I took a moment one time to try. And I was like, I'm gonna know. Like I don't. And maybe that's why now I can go and write the list. I need to write down the need because I right off the back of my mind, of course, I'm like, okay, I want a bald headed, bearded, brown skin, right? But I don't have to put that on the list, right? That's a one. Like that's a one. I don't have to put that on the list because in my mind, when I see it, I'm like, see that right there, right? So that's that.
Well, you want to have a cat. You can have two lists. When you see it, you want it. No, you should be able to feel it too.
Yes,
Love is a soul thing.
that's what I said. I'm a no.
All thing.
Mm-hmm.
You'll know it when you feel it as well. You're gonna see it. You might be attracted to it, but this person might be a 10 on the outside, but a 0 inside.
That part.
So the list really should be about need and
Need.
want.
Right. Okay. But lead with need. So
Lead
ladies.
with need because we've all been in relationships, because I talk to grown women. Okay, I'm not talking to the 20-year-olds. I ain't talking to
Right.
the ones that's out here playing and having a good time. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking to the grown women. You
Mm-hmm.
know good and well what hasn't worked for you. You know good and well what you need.
Right.
You're not thinking about, I just need a man. No, you don't. No, no.
Right.
You need that man to provide for you, to make you feel
Yes.
safe, supported, and loved.
Well, I did write that part down when I started. I wrote that little piece. But I ain't finished
So,
it.
so just really go deep, and I think that's the issue. A lot of times, women, we don't go deep enough. Here's one of the things I'll tell you though, because I'm not just talking to women who are looking necessarily. You can be so I'm the Luxury Love Diva, so I'm all about luxury from within, embodying
Mm-hmm.
luxury and leading with luxury, attracting luxury, and luxury for me, quality over quantity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and so you can be luxuriously single, luxuriously partnered, luxuriously married.
Mm.
Okay. If you're luxuriously single, that means you are single because you want to be, and that's absolutely fine. You have your peace, you have your purpose, you have your prosperity, you have your goals. And guess
Mm-hmm.
what? If you're luxuriously single, you can date well. You can date luxuriously. You decide who you're going to date. You're not going to
Mm-hmm.
date somebody who's not going to take you to a really nice place, who's going to introduce you to something new. Okay? So that means you get to choose. So you can be
Correct.
luxuriously single, you can be luxuriously partnered. Like Oprah Winfrey is a good example of that. And I'll throw Goldie Hawn in there. These are women who have been with their men for 30 years.
Right.
And nobody's going nowhere. Why?
Right.
Because they're comfortable. They're
Mm-hmm.
what they need and they don't have to be on paper. A lot of times people these days they don't want to be married necessarily. They want to be partnered.
Mm-hmm.
Luxuriously partnered. Everybody has peace. You're traveling, you're having a good old time together. You're right, and luxuriously married. You're that power couple. Everybody's nourishing each other. You're nourishing your partner. That partner is nourishing you.
Everybody watering each other. It's
Quality.
about
That's
watering.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. So I will say this to women and men. You know, until you find the right person, until you find your person or meet your person or your person meets you, enjoy being you. Enjoy, nurture yourself, travel
Yes.
on your own. I'm married, and my husband was in Brazil fishing and all this. I took myself out. I went and got me a drink. I was cute.
Cute.
I'm like, shoot, I was just out, having a good old time because I know where home is.
Yes, yes. I'm telling you something when you can step out and date yourself and get cute. Because I feel like I'm doing it every weekend. Sometimes I'm in the house, but I always try to think about what I want to do. And I started that long before now because, it was something that I was accustomed to. I was accustomed to getting out the house when I was married every weekend. So when the weekends came, I didn't want to be wallowing in it. So I learned how to go to the movies. I learned how to go to nice restaurants. I learned how to get dressed and be like, oh, a table for two. No, for one. It's just one. They was like, oh, yes, And I learned how to do that because, and it's empowerment. It's empowering when you realize that you don't have to wait for somebody. Because if I sit around here and wait, especially when all my friends are married, they boot up on the weekend. Then that means I'm just sitting in the house doing nothing. My life is passing by. And so yes, so shout out to the women, even when you are married, that can still take yourself out when your husbands are out on fishing trips and things. And Denise says, I'm luxuriously single. Okay, now I know, but I need him to be able to put it down.
Listen, that's a
Okay, let's
need.
get out. No, Denise, keep it real.
That's a need. That's
That's a
absolutely
need.
a need. And I
Me
will
too,
say
Denise.
that's a need. And it's interesting how we're talking about basically healthy relationships and wealth. What I speak to, I have so much coming up. I'm so excited about this because one of the things I'm going to be doing a masterclass on upcoming is dating healthy and wealthy.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Okay. Now, yeah,
mm-hmm,
remember,
mm-hmm.
because I got to start talking to my single ladies out here who are luxuriously single. You need to,
Yes.
because you're single doesn't mean you are not or cannot live luxuriously. This is about you. We are
Mm-hmm.
luxury all day.
Right.
when we value ourselves, when we're confident, we know what we want, and we are not going to settle for less.
That part.
So in the meantime, just be luxuriously single until the right person finds you, or until you find them, whatever the case may be. But there's a way to navigate this this life. Date well and still have your peace.
Mm-hmm.
So your partner, if that's what you
Yeah.
want. Some people don't want that. They just want to be free. I know one thing. Before I met so I manifested the first husband, and when we were no longer in alignment, I manifested the next one.
Girl, tell us how you manifested this
I
awesome
led
husband of yours.
I led with what I needed, because
Mm.
in the first marriage I was married to the I had to be sneaky successful. I was married to the unfertilized soil. But I
Gotcha.
stayed in it for a long time thinking I could change, I could elevate him, I could nothing. I'm an optimist, he was a pessimist, and I'm
Mm.
thinking, "Oh my gosh, I just stayed. I stayed way too long. I was embarrassed. I didn't want to get divorced because it felt like failure to me, but it was when I said, "You know what? This isn't working for me anymore. This isn't working for me." 17 years of marriage with a 2, 3 year separation in between. I went
Mm.
back, things would change. It picked up steam, it was worse. And I said, "Oh no, 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 no." The other thing is too, we were 20 years apart in age. So we weren't really in alignment
Right.
as I grew. But I manifested the first one because I believe if your mentors are not in front of you, you should seek them out. So this was someone who was older than me, smart. I thought he could teach me something. That's another story for another time. However, we grew apart in age and in life. And so when I did decide to get divorced, I said the next person I need, this is what I need. I need somebody closer to my age. I need him to be financially secure, because I'm financially secure, but I need him to be financially secure. I need him to be adventurous. I need him to have friends. I need him to have whatever, whatever. And so I saw an airplane. I don't know where the airplane came from. Well, my husband,
Yeah.
CEO of a wealth management firm, check. Only 3 years older than me, check. Has an airplane, didn't.
You're
Have
right. Look,
it.
look, you be propped up real
I
luxurious
did real
in this
luxury, but
week.
it's funny because I knew that if in the meantime I was going to date well and wealthy, and I was going to be flown whoever, wherever, with whomever, and I was going to date, and I was going to be luxuriating and traveled and all the things. I didn't get to all that because I met my husband. And it turns out he was all that. So
Yes.
he was like 10 luxurious dates all in one. And we got married, and he proposed. And I did see Europe. I did see Europe. I said I want to be married in Europe. He proposed in
Mm.
Rome. We were married in Venice. But I
Oh
also
yeah,
knew I
yeah.
needed a nurturer.
Mm-hmm.
What, he nurtured me 6 months after our wedding. He nurtured me through my brain surgery. So it's
Mm.
not just about, the glitz and the glam and all the fun. I have an actual life partner and a husband who loves me, nurtures me, flies me everywhere. We have so much fun. We
Yes.
laugh. There's humor. I need a humor. I need a sense of humor. That is so important. And so,
Yes. Yes.
when this
Yeah.
falls off, I'll manifest the next one. No, I'm kidding.
No, no, he ain't. Look, no, 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 and no. Husband is not going nowhere. Y'all are.
It's so
No,
funny because I feel like
but
I'm talking
no,
about this
look.
phantom, but you met my husband, so you
Yes, look. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna fly to Denver and be like, "What's going on? What we
girl. I
doing?"
know, like what? You met him, and I will tell you this. He just says, you heard, the speech he gave to all you ladies.
Yes.
He could not praise us women enough. Powerful, strong women.
Yes.
He was in tears just being in the room,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, he
Oh, he's
was.
in awe of me.
Yeah.
Anyway, he look at me every day like I'm new. Like, who am I married to? I'm like, well, need somebody every day, somebody different. But when he saw all you beautiful, he's like, it just gets better. This is just
Yeah.
Incredible.
He's so sweet. You're right. I was like, oh my God, I just love him. And I was like, okay, I got to bring up, tell husband, I said hello, right?
I sure will.
Yes. Look, so we got some comments over here. Latasha, hey, Latasha. She said, leave with what you need. Yes. And
Yes.
Denise says she need husband to have a brother or uncle. Okay. She you know what he working with, because she already working on her list as we speak. But she need him to have an uncle or a brother for her. We'll make that too, Denise. Okay. So yes, Elisa says, love that, love it, love it, love it. So they are in this chat, honey. They talking about this list. Okay, they are here talking about this list. Okay, so now I know how I'm gonna start this list. That then I'm gonna be able to tell my big sister that's in Dubai. I'm gonna tell her I finally got my list, but I led with what I needed versus the want. Start first with what the needs are. Then I can put a little want on there. I'm gonna tell her too.
So important. That's so important. And in the meantime, though, we, aside from partnerships in our lives, lead with what we need.
Mm-hmm.
Lead with what we need in this next level life that we're having. Many women over 40 are on a new path, starting new businesses, new ventures. Lead with what you need.
Yes.
Think about, where do I see myself? Lead with you first.
Yes.
Have what you need in order. So then when that person comes along, all they're going to do is elevate you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And
yes.
let somebody be in awe of you.
Yes. Well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
We want to be in awe of ourselves. Like, I want to be proud. I'm so proud of myself.
Yes.
I'm so proud of myself, because that's what we need to do. Is like, I'm so proud of all the things that I have done.
Yes.
And that I have yet to do.
Yeah.
So we have to kind of get in that mindset where we are nurturing ourselves and building ourselves, and just being that diamond from within.
Yes. Again, it goes back to the self relationship, and being okay with dating yourself, even if you are married, because there are times where you may just need to get out, and it doesn't mean that it has to always be with your partner, but that's the me time, and being okay with, because some people won't do that, they just, because truth be told, me going through the divorce or separation and divorce, it grew me, because I used to be one that, because I was so used to, on the weekends, it was me and him. So we might not even have a destination, but we got in that car, and he'd be like, I don't know where we're going, but we was in that car, right? And then when I was working, if my bestie or somebody wasn't going out to lunch, then I just wouldn't go, because I didn't want to go by myself. And it was like this attachment thing, right? So when I went through the separation piece, I had to grow, because I had never lived on my own. I went from my mom's house to being married. I got married at 21. And so, so I got married at 21. So I went straight from leaving mama house, moving in, and got married like 4 months, like after, or so, like, afterwards, because the wedding was coming up. So we went on ahead and moved in. And so the thing of it is, I had to learn how to live by myself. I learned how to go and date myself, because he would go to the movies or go get something to eat, and I don't know how he do that. I just never did. I just never did, because first of all, I was Jamaican anyway. I was doing 50-11 things, so I probably didn't even feel like I was tired. I was working a full-time job, I was doing hair part-time, I was dance mom, all kind of chip, everything. I was all over the place. So yeah, he go out, but I was just like, I don't even know how you do all of that. I ain't going to eat by myself, and I need to be able to talk to somebody. I'm always running, right? So but I grew in that, because now it's no thing. I don't even bother my friends on the weekend. I just be like, okay, the weekend is coming up. What I'm going to do? Am I going to go out with somebody? That's by my choice, on a date or anything like that. Or am I going to go and do X, Y, and Z, right? Or am I going to go take a nature walk, or whatever it is? It's for me, right? But I had to learn how to do that when I was still working. it was nothing for me to get up from my desk and start going to lunch by myself. And my best friend called me like, "Where you at?" I was like, "Girl, I'm up the street." And she's like, "What?" But she got used to it. But at first, it was an unheard of thing. And so I'm saying all this. Sometimes we have to grow through what we go through to make us be more independent and to learn to love ourselves and say that we don't have to be leeches on other people to be able to live.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So I had to share that because I'm not there in that space anymore. Like it's nothing for me. I can go catch a flight. I didn't think I was gonna ever go to the airport by myself. I've been doing that for a long time now. Go catch a flight.
I love it. I love it.
You know, and just live. And you really have to just get in position where you just feel like, you know, I can't wait on him or whoever that is or whatever. Learn to do those things. And so when he comes, it's an addition to. It's an addition to, right? And so oh, okay. I'm just laughing at these comments. They still talking about they listing things and the uncles and all that. And like Latasha said, we ladies are so much fun. So I just put that up on the screen. So I hope you've been seeing these comments I've been putting up here. But yes. So, you know, but yeah, you dropped some little nuggets. So I know my takeaway is when I do sit down, because I always, you know, I write out things, I do my visioning and all of that things just personally for me, my goals, making sure I'm in purpose. Because I always say he needs to be a purpose partner for me, right? Much like when I hear when you're talking about you and husband, right? You know, somebody that I don't want to have to be explaining what I'm doing and you don't understand what I'm doing, and it's complicated for you to get, and you know all of these things. I already know he's gonna be a purpose partner. Me and Lord already talked about that and what that's gonna look like. So I guess I've been verbalizing and having these conversations. I just haven't wrote it down, write the vision and make it plain type of deal, right? So I'm gonna do that this weekend.
Need to do that. Here's the other thing, though: when you're married, successful marriages, they thrive when the two people actually lead with what they need. So you want to have the check-ins as well. So if you're married for 1 year or 30 years or 60 years, my in-laws have been married for 60 years. Just celebrated their 60-year wedding. It was 61 this year. But it's important to reconnect and discuss, you know, what you need on a regular basis, because it can change from time to time. You know, and so I just think it's important to, even if you have to sit down and write a list and then sit down on a Sunday or whatever that day is and just kind of go through the list together so that the both of you are connected and in sync and in alignment. Because you don't just get married and you know go your own way and then just kind of get comfortable. So I think when we get comfortable with our partners, things things can fall apart. I always like to say the pursuit is always more interesting than the catch.
I'm trying to tell you.
I say that because, like my husband, I'm always switching it up. I have my activities, I have my own interests and things like that, and so does he. So he doesn't just like, oh, she's going to be home every Monday, or she's not going nowhere. Like, he's not familiar. I mix it up. He mixes it up. But he'll say, you know, one of these days I'm going to figure you out. And the first thing I say is, the hell you will.
Right.
Not figure me out.
Yes.
Figure me out. So how are you going to figure me out?
Right.
I'll always be the elusive woman.
Yes. I love it because you said
entire marriage.
I love it, Dr. Felisha, because
girlfriend wife. Put that in the chat. Somebody put that in the chat.
Tell them again what to put in the chat.
Dr. Felisha Kay, the Luxury Love Diva, said she is a girlfriend wife.
She is a girlfriend wife. Somebody put that in the chat. Right. The funny part to that is, I'm laughing because I've said what you said. Like, you know, I've had conversations with guys about, you know, being, you know, we've had like different conversations, and you know, and I've asked the questions like, well, how's things going? It's like, you know, I'm comfortable. I was like, that's a dangerous place to be. It's like, why you say that? I said, comfortable means that you just. He was like, yeah, it's, you know, it's just comfortable. I was like, no, like, that means y'all got so familiar with one another that something can easily slip in because you just it's comfortable, right? And so to your point, remember when I came, like I'm starting to be like who I was. I used to change my hair all the time, and so now people are like, "Hey, you changed your hair." I'm like, "This is what I used to do." So in marriage, he never knew, because I'm a hairstylist, how my hair was going to be, if I was going to, when he finally got on board, you know, I was like, "I want to cut my hair." He's like, "I don't want it." And then I was like, "Well, I'm asking you for permission about my hair. It's like mine. Like
Permission.
like I'm asking you about, can I cut my hair?" And it's something I want to for me. I want to see how I feel with that. And then, you know, one day he was just like, "Well, fine, if you put it that way," you know what I'm saying? So I didn't do it then, but I eventually did it, and he didn't know when. When I came in that house, he was like, "What? Wait." Then he says, "What took you so long to do that? They don't be knowing what they want. They don't want." Now he got a whole different person in the house, right? Switching it up is
Absolutely.
good, you know, just making them like who I'm going to get today, you know, how she's going to show up for me today. Ladies, like switching it up is really good, right? And so they did put that in here a couple of times. So that, here we go, right here. Dr. Felisha Kay is a girlfriend's wife.
I'm a girlfriend wife. That's it. That's it. And you know, and we talked about my hair, you know, when I was
Right.
backstage. But this is my Costa Rica hair. You know,
Right.
you know, states in Costa Rica. So this is my Costa Rica hair. And so when my husband first saw it, he's like, "What? Oh my God, I love it." You know. So it's like I love to mix it up too. I'm not a diva for no reason.
That part.
But I will say this, just if you remember this, the pursuit, you know, some might say the chase is better than the catch. I don't like that. I don't like that language. Nobody should have to chase you. I just think the pursuit, we should all want to be pursued.
Yes. Yes.
The pursuit is always more interesting. I think that and when I refer to the catch, it means like just the familiarity. Like if your partner feels they're familiar with your habit, then that also sets you up to be taken for granted.
Mm-hmm.
Sets
Mm-hmm.
you up to be, you know, not just not interesting. You know, so I just think it's really important to just have that confidence from within.
Mm-hmm.
Show your partner that you know you're gonna do what you want to do. You know what I mean? That you are, just because you're married doesn't mean that you are not two independent people with with hopes, dreams, goals. And when you come together, it's wonderful. But you are also two individuals.
Yeah.
You know, so
I
that,
see it the same way. I see
and
it
be
the same
confident
way.
in that though. Don't make
Mm-hmm.
any apologies for it. And that's another, when you people out here dating, lead with exactly who you are. Do not lead with who you think you don't lead with who you think they want you to be.
Right.
Because if you do that and you actually settle into who you really are, it's gonna be, well, you changed. Yeah, because
Mm-hmm.
you led with the truth. So
Yeah.
that's why it's so important to be grounded and know exactly who we are, you know, and exactly where we're going. So we can verbalize that with
Yes.
anyone, with anyone.
Yes.
And, you know, we're going to anyone that we attract. I don't care
Yes.
if it's personally, professionally, or what have you. I know for me, I'm pretty consistent. Like I'm consistent. I can't edit. It's like, what? Wait, that doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Like, if you're not authentic, then you're gonna forget what the hell you
That part. Right.
said. I don't have time for this.
Yes. I love I now, you know, being in this space of my singleness and embracing it and loving that, when, you know, in the dating world, or, you know, those things, that's very important. Even with friendships, is very important that you lead with who you truly are, because you don't want to gain a friend based on some facade, and then you wondering why the friendship didn't last or whatever, especially once you settled into it, and then it's not what it was. So that's, you know, goes for all relationships in a sense, you know, female, just regular relationships or partnerships and things like that. But yes, they won't get all of this Keisa, you know, all of the Keisa. But what I hear all the time here lately is that girl, you are so funny. And I'm like, I wish my kids can hear that because they will swear down. But it's just who I am. But I guess people think they're like, girl, you know, funny. But just leading with who you truly are, that is truly important. You know, don't in this season, we're too old to be leading with anything less than that. You know, we're too old to be sitting up here trying to fake the phone, saying maybe if I, you know, do this for a minute, I'll get them. No, sis or bruh, because once you get them, it's still you gonna relax, and then the truth will gonna come out. You be like, who the hell is this?
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. There. No, we don't have time to edit.
We don't have time for edits, okay? So put that in the chat. We don't have time for edits. Be who you
We don't have
are.
time for edits.
Let you attract who you need to attract, being who you are.
You know, we're not going. It's like, you know, just like when sometimes a lot of women, when they get in a relationship, they go, I'll change him. He gonna change. You want the man to be exactly who you met, and you should be that same person.
Right.
You know, because you don't want to get in a relationship and the man's like, okay, I can deal with, I'm a changer. You know, I'm gonna have her, you know, I'll change her.
Don't do that.
Not changing me. I'm exactly
right. Don't do that. Go show us who you are so you can attract who you truly need to be attracted to. Like don't do that. And if you don't like who you are and you pretended to be somebody, go do the work. Go do the work so that you can be the person that you envision yourself to be.
100%.
100%. So before we close out, I have one last question because this has been good. And I'm like, we can go a whole nother couple along, you know, but I'm being respectful right of the time, right? And so for women who are watching who feel financially or emotionally trapped in an unhealthy relationship, what steps can they take to regain control and rebuild their wealth, both emotionally and financially?
Well, I would hope they've not lost any financial wealth in their relationship, but I will say this. So there's some takeaways that we can talk about here. So one of the first things is to set boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Just like a gardener protects their plant, protect your energy. Okay. Yes. So it's really important to stay focused and in alignment with the things that you want and where you're going, the path that you're on. The other thing I would say is regularly assess your relationships. See who's around you. Yeah. See who is contributing to the completion of you and not contributing to the depletion. Mm-hmm. Right? So shade free. See who's shade.
Right. That
part. Underneath those shade trees and love them from a distance if you must. And then the last thing I would say is prune regularly and intentionally. And what I mean by that is just, again, evaluate those relationships and kind of, this is where you can pivot away from relationships that no longer serve you. So really it's about just cleaning up your environment. That's the most important thing. And staying on path.
Yes.
So that again, yeah, this really is about you and what you want and not asking for permission from anyone else, not even your partner, to be you.
To be you. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And if you don't have space for that in that relationship, then, you know, there needs to be some conversations, some counseling, whatever needs. I'm not going to tell you go and jump ship. You know, but take whatever I had to say. Because you're like, but you know, you should be able to be who you are, and not feel stifled and not like you stagnant in life because you are dying slowly within when you are in those positions where you can't fully be who you are. And if you find that you are not, be sure to, you know, acknowledge those things and be honest and upfront, you know, with who those people are. And it may not necessarily be partner. It could be, you know, family or whatever, but boundaries are good. So I love that, you know, boundaries, they are good. It's not a bad word. It's like, no, it's not a bad word. Boundaries is not a bad word. Okay. Setting boundaries are good for your own well-being. So I just want to tell you, thank you so much, Dr. Felisha, for sharing your wisdom and guidance on tonight, honey. This has been so much fun. I got to have you back. And to everyone watching, thank you for tuning in. Thank you all for your comments. Yes, y'all go get those lists together. And for the married couples, write down some things that y'all need to talk about and things and reassess where y'all are in this season of life and where you're headed, right? And so remember, financial independence isn't just about money, right? It's about protecting your emotional well-being and knowing your worth, right? So for more practical tips and how you can grow and continue to grow and elevate in life and style, grab my book, The Journey to Beautiful Living, 7 Pillars for Living a Fulfilled Life. You know what? I'm going to pause, and this is something I don't normally do, but I'm about to pause. I'm about to bring Dr. Felisha back on here because I want to make sure people know how to reach you. So I normally say that before I take you off stage, but I didn't. So I needed to bring you back on here so they can know how to reach you if they have any questions or anything like that and so forth. And then I do the closing.
Reaching me is easy. At Luxury Love Diva across all platforms. I am registered trademark. I got the R in the circle. So you can find me anywhere at Luxury Love Diva.
Yes.
Everything.com.
Yeah, so thank you again for being here. I'm just going to let you stay here on stage with me just in case something else come up. But for more practical tips and how to grow and elevate in life, right? Grab my book, The Journey to Beautiful Living, 7 Pillars for Living a Fulfilled Life at KeisaCampbell.com. You can find it there or wherever books are sold. And guys, if you did not know, I have a LTK, like to know, and an Amazon storefront. So I welcome you to join me there for more style tips. You can find that link in my bio. And these resources are designed to help you just to embrace your authentic self, cultivate your unique style, and live out your purpose with excellence. So visit KeisaCampbell.com if you are ready to live out your purpose, career, and show up in style and confidence. Beautiful living isn't just a destination, right? It's a journey that we take every single day. It's about deciding what you want your life to look like and taking the necessary steps to make that vision a reality. Every day above ground is an opportunity to make your life truly beautiful. I am beyond thrilled to embark on this journey with you. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. Let's take this journey together, supporting and uplifting one another along the way. Don't forget to follow, subscribe if you're on YouTube for my YouTubers, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss the next episode, and share this episode with a friend. So everybody who is tuning in, make sure you hit the share button. And until next time, stay beautiful and keep living your best life, and know that beautiful living awaits you. Good night, everybody.